So we back with another one of Rick's Moment, and we're about to do a reaction video with Sadhguru and David Eagleman, the scientist versus the mystic, spirituality. So let's get into it.
To continuously sustain that wonder, that sense of wanting to know, is the basis of science and mysticism.
We have no way that a human could perceive a system of that complexity, and yet each of us has it. We can make new strains of mathematics, we can make computer simulations, but we'll never get it. I'll never get the brain.
But even this brain can be manufactured with something as simple as a piece of a carrot or a bread. So I'm saying, there is an intelligence here which can create a brain.
This is a place where I feel like science and mysticism have a real meeting ground, is that this three words of I don't know.
Jananam sukadam maranam karunam milanam maduram smaranam karunam. Good evening, everyone. I said good evening.
Tell us about that chant.
The chant, these are certain types of invocation. In the sense, the distinction between an invocation and a prayer is, prayer is an effort to talk to whatever other dimensions that people believe in. Invocation is a way of inciting a certain dimension of who you are for a particular type of activity. So this chant is mainly talking about how birth is sweet, but death is compassion. Because if you cannot die, that's not a good thing, you know. We don't want to die right now, but suppose you cannot die at all, what do you do with it? It'll become a serious problem. Though birth and life is very sweet, death is a great compassion if it comes at the right time. Meeting and mingling is very sweet, but memory is a great compassion. And if one transcends the process that we refer to as time, then the whole existence is compassion for you. That's what the chant is, I mean, generally saying.
So I'm very interested in the intersection of our worlds, science and mysticism.
I thought we live on the same planet.
Well, we'll see. So I go into the lab every day and I study how the brain, which is encased in silence and darkness, how it constructs our reality. And the reason we know that this has something to do with the brain is because if the brain is damaged, even in small ways, your reality changes. And if you take drugs or alcohol or other sorts of things, viruses in the system, your reality can change. So I'm interested in finding where our perspectives overlap in this, because your interest is, one of your interests is also understanding reality, how we perceive it, how it's individualized to us. So can you tell us about that?
There is existence outside, and there is you or me as individual human beings. We have not seen the world. We know it only the way it's projected in the firmament of our minds. When we say mind, in English language, mind is just one word and supposed to encompass everything. But in the yogic terminology, we have 16 parts of the mind which function distinct functions. And there are a whole lot of practices and processes through which one takes charge of these 16 dimensions of mind. These 16, for simpler understanding, can be brought into four sections. The first dimension of the mind is we are referring to as buddhi, or what is generally considered intellect. It is the intellect. I think modern societies, particularly modern education, has become too overly focused on the intellect. Aristotle, you know. I'm not talking about your boy. Because of… we got too engrossed in… we got too mesmerized by our own logic, and we have invested too much in human intellect, leaving out the other dimensions of intelligence that functions within us. When we say intellect, it is the logical realm of what's happening in our minds. Or in other words, in your intellect, you can't make your intellect agree 2 + 2 is 6. It has to be 4, otherwise you'll think it's crazy. So, it's factual, it grasps the facts of life and assimilates and makes an analysis of that and lets us penetrate through the world. Or in other words, intellect is like a knife, the sharper, the better. Knife is an instrument which is used for cutting things open. So this is one way of exploring the world, by dissection. This is how, you know, at least in high school you must have dissected something. Maybe an earthworm or a cockroach or a frog, I don't know how far you went. This is one way of knowing.
So basically he's saying that in this particular part this is how we dissect the world from our point of view with the instruments that we are using to survive. So this is the way that we see it, and when it comes down to survival. So yeah.